Good morning. Welcome to the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning here in sunny Jamaica. Thank you, Angela, for that beautiful introduction just now. And let us begin, as we begin all things, with an opening affirmative prayer. Please join me. In this moment, in the beauty of this moment, we recognize that there is God and only God, that one presence, that one powerful and perfecting presence. This is the presence in which we live and move and accomplish everything that is ours to accomplish. So I know that this morning's service is an already perfect idea in this mind of God, so that everything that needs to be said is said with clarity and from within the framework of love. Everything that needs to be heard is heard with an open heart and an open mind, so that we leave here this morning refreshed and uplifted and inspired to be more than we thought we could be, to be all that we are called to be. This is the truth about each one of us. This is the truth about this morning's service. So I release these words now into that infinite law that knows how to effect this perfectly. And I give thanks that all this is now so. And so it is. I have an inspirational reading for you this morning, which comes from the book called When Lovers Are Friends by Merle Shane. And this chapter is titled, since we're in Love Month, I'm still focusing on love. The title, Loneliness is Something You Do to Yourself. There seem to be three main streams to life: the emotional, the sensual, and the rational. And all of us are made up of these three, although in differing amounts. I don't know how we become lopsided or what causes one skein in the braid to become thicker than the rest, whether we back away from what we are afraid of or go with the part of us that functions best. I only know that most people grow more in one way than in others, and the side of them which is the most developed determines their life. And because this is the case, the side of them which is the most developed also dictates the kind of friend they make. There are friends who feed the spirit and those who feed the senses, and some with whom the attachment is emotional and warm. And you can be different with each one of them, so it makes sense to choose one friend for the different sides of yourself that you want to express and develop. It is in the choice of friends that we decide what we shall feed and what we are willing to starve. Friends are people, who help you to be more yourself, more the person you are intended to be. And it is possible that without them, we don't recognize ourselves or grow to be what it is in us to be. Our lives are, in fact, many lives, and we can all be much more than we are, so there cannot be any doubt that the secret of who we become is who we meet along the way. We tend to think of emotional connections as being limited to certain kinds and fields of friends, like mates. We feel that they must be the age and sex prescribed. And even when we allow ourselves one best friend, we are always on the alert to be sure they don't interfere with the time meant for other friends or our spouse. You know, if I were to marry tomorrow, I wouldn't give up one friend. I'd take them all with me as a sort of dowry and tell my new husband that he was getting a rich wife. It takes a long time to understand that there is no relationship which is all supporting, only those which help you grow stronger in yourself. So many people never realize how important it is to have real friends and how crucial they can be, even if you have a mate. There are so many parts of us that have to communicate with other parts of another person that we each need several people to unlock all the chambers of our heart. And while we have all been conditioned to hunger for the one person who gives us everything and gives it to us all of the time, it helps to accept that life consists of moments, moments which are gifts that you can pick up and hang like pearls around your neck, but no one is going to hand them to you. You have to supply the string in order to hug them to yourself. From When Lovers Are Friends by Merle Shane. Now I would do our praise song, which is found in our program, page 2 and on the screen. Love lifted me. Please stand. I was searching all about, seeking for life and peace, thinking they were found without, still I could find no ease. But the Christ who dwells in me heard my despairing cry, said, why seek outside of thee, for here am I. Love lifted me, love lifted me, from thoughts of doubt and strife. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me, with Christ eternal life. Love lifted me. All my heart to him I give, ever to him I cling. In his blessed presence live, ever his praises sing. Love so mighty and so true, merit my soul's best songs. Faithful, loving service to him belong. Love lifted me, love lifted me, from thoughts of doubt and strife. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me, with Christ eternal life. Love lifted me. Spirit substance everywhere, waiting for us to mold. With Christ Jesus we can share treasures of worth untold. Words and thoughts have moving power, so let us careful be, knowing that we're building our eternity. Love lifted me, love lifted me, from thoughts of doubt and strife. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me, with Christ eternal life. Love lifted me. Thank you. You sound lovely. I'm now going to light the candle for the youth, and then we'll do our mission song. Oh, that's true. We're going to do the prayer of our center first. Please keep standing if you're not already standing. The prayer of our center. The Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living, is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Now I'm going to light the candle. Now you can sit. Say the blessing with me for the children of the world. We love you, we appreciate you, we salute the Christ in you, and we see you as shining lights unto your world. God is blessing you now, and so it is. Now it's time for our mission song. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us. Anytime, night or day, the temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yay! That feel good? Wake up? Well, now I have your attention. It's time for our announcements. You'll find the announcements on the screen, some of them, and I'm going to read the most relevant here. Our flowers this week were done by our own Sean Blake. Thank you, Sean. They are beautiful. Now, there's a flyer in your program which tells you all about the significant events that are coming up at the temple. And if you're not here in person, you may visit our Facebook page for the list of our regular spiritual activities, as well as information on how to support our ministry of love and light. Now, please remember, if you intend to be here in person, you must call the office 876-946-2230 to let them know that you will be here in person, because we are limited to a certain number. As you know, congregants attending must wear a face mask and observe the prescribed protocols. Please also maintain physical distancing and leave the premises as quickly as possible after the service. If you can't bless us with your presence on a Sunday, physically, you can still be with us in consciousness as services continue to be live streamed on Facebook Live. This morning, please join Reverends John Scott and Michael Record for Facebook Live from 10:30 to 11:30, That's Facebook Live, 10:30 a.m. till 11:30 for Discovery. Now, this is a lively conversation on how we live Science of Mind principles. Today's topic, Lenten practices. You know, like only eat fish and give up things for Lent? Yes. Prayer support. We continue to respond with prayer to the challenges of this special time. A practitioner will be available to pray with you during a 15-minute period immediately following our service every Sunday. The practitioner on duty today is practitioner Carol Charlton, and the number to call is 876-289-0907. And remember, this is immediately following the service. She'll be available for about 15 minutes. This concludes our announcements. Now please join me in singing our first hymn, No Man is an Island. It's on page 3 of the program as well as on your screen. Please be seated and get yourself ready for our speaker this morning, practitioner Sandra Cooper. Now, in case you didn't realize it, today is Practitioner Sunday. So on Practitioner Sunday, we practitioners take charge. We practice. So please help me welcome Sandra Cooper to the podium. She is a well-seasoned speaker, a life facilitator, and just a wonderful person altogether. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Carol. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the Temple of Light. Welcome to our Sunday morning service. Welcome to our hearts. And welcome to each and every one of you joining us on the World Wide Web. It's awesome where I stand now and I'm looking outside. I'm seeing bougainvillea right around the temple grounds. And it just tells me that it's summer and it's just awesome. And I know that those of you who are in colder climes can just imagine what it feels like to have bougainvillea around. And it just will make a whole different experience in your hearts as you feel a lot warmer. Now today, February 28th, marks the end of our Love Month. It's the end of Reggae Month here in Jamaica and Black History Month in the United States. We kicked off our first Sunday this month with Reverend John's message, Expressions of Love. On Friendship Sunday, Valentine's Day, the following week, Reverend Ann's message was in celebration of friendship. And last Sunday, Reverend John chose to focus on our own Black history as he explored the rich heritage of the Nubian Empire, a time that was devoid of racism. In that message, he also shared the importance of holding one's self as valued and valuable, a message impressed upon him by his father as he was preparing to enter high school. Now, this morning, I will share some thoughts on the experience of love in relationships in my message, which I've entitled, All Together in Love. Now, friends, relationships exist to hasten our experience of oneness with God. And the Course of Miracles describes it this way, and I quote, "When you meet someone, remember, it's a holy encounter. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. Never forget this, for in him you will lose and find yourself." End of quote. Now, everyone we meet, therefore, brings with them an opportunity for us to experience relationship. According to the Huffington Post, relationships are imperative for many different reasons, such as increasing our emotional well-being, creating stability, learning how to be a good friend or mate, having someone to count on and to trust in times of need. And so each relationship elicits different responses in ourselves that help us to grow and learn about ourselves. Relationships then oftentimes are the glue that holds us together during stressful situations and when we face life's difficulties. Without relationships, we would have a dreaded spirit and a lack of connection to our true selves. End of that. Wow. It is therefore through relationship that we have the opportunity to develop and express virtues of generosity, compassion, patience, and forgiveness. In relationship, we can listen without judgment, challenge one another, encourage one another, and pray with one another. Indeed, in relationship, there is always the acknowledgement that there is a divine exchange taking place, that the presence of God is experienced itself through each person. And it is in relationship, friends, that we learn what love truly means. And I'm not talking about just the romantic relationship here, but all relationships. But, sadly, relationships can also be a minefield of explosive entanglements, sparking conflict and energy-draining emotions like guilt and envy, jealousy, among others. And these emotions will leave us with a deep sense of disconnect and separation from each other and from our source. Consider that when you are in relationship with another, that relationship has only one purpose. It exists as a vehicle for you to experience yourself, to decide and to declare, to create and to connect, to experience and to express yourself as love. Now, the science of mind teaches that love is the highest form of energy known to man. It expresses through qualities like beauty and joy, fun and laughter, passion and service. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, expressed that, and I quote, "Love is a central flame of the universe. It is the very fire itself. Love fires the heart, stimulates the emotions. It renews the soul and proclaims the spirit. It is a self-givingness of the spirit through creation, the impartation of the divine through man. God is pure love. And as we are made in the image and likeness of God, we too are pure love. The master teacher, Jesus, entreated us to love one another. Yes, as I have loved you. Are we loving? Are we allowing that presence and spirit of love to express through us uninhibitedly, purely, and without compromise? The challenge is that as we navigate through this thing called life, love, as we described above with the fire and all these wonderful things, seem to be a far-off utopic ideal. Instead, we have instances of blatant racism, bigotry, political divisiveness, and violence against each other, threatening to undermine our very existence. This is what we are hearing about on the media and reading about. So if there were a time when the world needed love, it's now, especially as we are grappling with the effects of a global pandemic. I was therefore quite delighted when I received a copy of Mungi Ngomani's beautiful book, Everyday Ubuntu. So let me tell you a little bit about Ubuntu, which could really go a far way to enable us to live in love and deepen our sense of oneness with each other and with God. The story is told about an anthropologist who proposed a game to the kids in an African village. He put a basket of fruit over across at a tree and told the kids that whoever got there first would win the sweet fruits. When he told them to run, something very strange happened. They all took each other's hands and they ran together. And so they arrived at the tree together, and they shared up the fruits and they enjoyed them together. When he asked them why they had run like that, when anyone could have won the fruits for himself, they replied, Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the other ones are sad? Ubuntu in Xhosa culture means I am only because you are. Ubuntu is a way of life from which we can all learn. Originating from a South African philosophy, it encompasses all our aspirations about how to live life well together. We feel it when we connect with other people and share a collective sense of our humanity, when we listen deeply and experience emotional bonding, when we treat ourselves and other people with the dignity that they deserve. Think about when and where in your life you experience Ubuntu. And think about when you don't. Think about when you feel separate and it's them over there and us over here. Think about how we bond and how we separate. Okay? As I reflect, there is a great synergy and sense of Ubuntu taking place in the various groups that are charged with crafting the strategic plan for the Temple of Light. The road has been rocky at times, as most of us are navigating the process for the very first time. And it might seem that it's taking a long, long time. But, you know, to coin an old cliche, Rome was not built in a day. And the great oak started from a tiny acorn. And so we have to allow the process. We have been slowly peeling away the layers of our frustration and discomfort, and some amazing results are emerging. This is because we're doing it in community, and we're holding hands as we run towards our goal as one. The question, therefore, is how can we more truly experience this powerful sense of community and oneness grounded in Ubuntu? We do this through some practices that sound very much like the science of mind to me. These are laid out in in the book, Everyday Ubuntu. So I'm going to just share with you some of the ways that Mungi Ngumani offers in her book. She says, 1, see yourself in other people. As we do this, our experience in the world will inevitably be a richer, kinder, and more connected one. If we look at others and see ourselves reflected back, we inevitably treat people better. We need to connect mindfully with strangers. We need to notice the judgments that we have. We need to feel them, recognize them, acknowledge them, and then let them go. Ask yourself, what are you going to do to enable the community around you to improve? You could ask yourself that question of your presence in the Temple of Light. Time is one of the most precious gifts that you can give. Human bonds are created by offering your time. Third thing, put yourself in the shoes of others. Now, I remember when the former chair gifted me with this book, I told her that I admired her shoes, but I was going to wear my own. So this is a contrary idea. We need to be putting ourselves into other people's shoes. So even if we don't agree with their point of view, we need to consider that that is their point of view. Everyone has difficult things and different things going on in their lives that we know nothing about. Even people we think we are close to. This works well when you find yourself in conflict with someone or find yourself passing judgment. Close your eyes and imagine how they might be feeling about that particular situation. Fourth thing, she says, have dignity and respect for yourself and others. Establish clear and respectful boundaries so that you can look after yourself and continue to give to others. Next thing, she says, believe in the goodness and greatness of everyone. When we choose to see the good or bad in someone, whatever we decide is often reflected back to us. If we find ourselves criticizing someone for doing a particular thing, we are unconsciously judging ourselves because it's probably something that we do. 7, seek out ways, she says, to connect with others. Now, this has become even more important now that pandemic protocols require that we practice physical distancing. We call it physical distancing because socially we are still together. It has been hard for many of us to maintain these imposed boundaries. For example, I'll share a personal experience. The day before New Year's Eve, a very, very close friend of mine visited. When she arrived, she was wearing a mask. So she came in and we sat 6 feet apart. And we had cake and we had wine and we chatted for about 2 hours. And then she got up to leave. I walked her to the gate and spontaneously we hugged. It just happened naturally. A week later, she called me to tell me that she had tested positive for COVID-19. I took a deep breath. I was feeling fine, but my head started to swirl. We hugged, suppose, if, but, what, all those thoughts came into my mind. I went into prayer and I quarantined myself. I didn't test, but she and I kept in touch. She lost her taste and her sense of smell, but she was, for the most part, well. I felt nothing, and I just kept far from my family members, and I told them to stay far from me. And a week after that, she called to say that she had tested again, and she was COVID-free. So it's just the natural thing for us to do is to be together. We want to be together. We want to connect. We want to hug. This is who we are as a people. We love to do that. And so this is now contrary to our way of being, to be distant and separate. We can't shake hands. We can't hug. We can't touch. And after church, we can't gather underneath the neem tree to drink coffee and chat and catch up. Okay? So we need to shift the way we engage with our friends. Make a phone call. Call to say hi. Have a Zoom party. We can do Zoom for 45 minutes. And some of us have decided to pay for subscriptions to Zoom so that we can have more longer connections with our friends and our business associates. Okay? So another thing, put a birthday up on your phone. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. Every year I transfer the names in my diary, and that is tedious. So I invite someone who knows how to do it. I have an Android phone to show me how. I would really, really appreciate that. So I'm asking for help. And Gomani urges us to embrace the F word, forgiveness, which can give us back, she says, our self-respect and dignity. The spirit of Ubuntu teaches that it is not good to sit alone with the pain of bitterness. Forgiveness returns peace of mind to the person who is angered and brings peace to all our lives. Friends, the truth is that relationships were designed to enable us to learn how to love others more purely. Think of the relationships that you have with family, with friends, with loved ones, with spouses. I want you to think of one relationship that's probably not working or not working as well as you'd like. Just close your eyes and think of that relationship for a minute. It's not working. There's some dissonance. Maybe not working as well as you'd like. Take a deep breath. And I want you to think about one thing that you could do differently. That one thing that's grounded in love. Forgiveness, reaching out, listening, engaging, connecting. What is it? What is one thing that you can do? Even listening. Just listen. Hold your point of view for a while and just listen. And just see the difference it could make to the quality of that relationship. And if you choose, you can call me and let me know how it goes. And so we need to just, as we love people in relationship, one of the things that we can do is to just allow them to be. Allow them to be who they are. Because remember, we're all created in the image and likeness of God. We may not like their behavior, but they're all as we are. We are all one. There's some aspect of them that is reflecting in, that is a reflection of who we are. It says that the ego seeks intimacy through control and guilt, whereas love seeks intimacy through acceptance and release. Relationships are meaningful because they bring opportunities for us to expand our hearts and become more deeply loving. Nothing stands between a baby's natural impulse to love and her expression of that love, because she hasn't yet learned that there are people out there that you can't trust, that the world is unsafe. She hasn't learned that. A committed spiritual practice enables us to come into the realization of our oneness with God, in whom we live and move and have our being. Meditation and affirmative prayer enables us to become more aware of a deeper sense of the unity of all life and our inseparable oneness with Spirit. And as our declaration of principles says, the highest God and the innermost God are one God. By letting go of the sense of I and me and mine, we allow the mind and the heart to be fully open to the truth that we all are one. This realization leads us to an understanding that everything you do for yourself. Every behavior in every relationship is about yourself. It behooves us then to remember that love is a conscious decision to foster the spiritual growth of another. In doing so, we experience the greatest relationship of all, and it is the relationship we have with God. This is what spiritual union is all about. In spiritual community, we share and support each other in our spiritual growth, as each of us commonly seeks a deeper understanding and demonstration of the universal principles of divine unity, the principles of Ubuntu. And so, at the end of the day, true relationship doesn't rely exclusively on time or space or on external outward expression. True relationship relies on a deep sense of our oneness and our union with the one through our connectedness with humanity, and the knowing that God in me is unified with God in all. Can we say that together? God in me, let me say it one more time. God in me is unified with God in all. Together. God in me is unified with God in all. Make eye contact with somebody else in the room and say, God in me is unified with God in you. God in me is unified with the God in you. God in me is unified with the God in you. Okay. I invite you to spend some time this week reaching out to a few of the friends that you haven't been in touch with for a while. Just call them up, give them a WhatsApp message, and just say hi, thinking of you, miss you, how you doing, what's happening, and listen. Just listen and hear what they're saying. As you connect, commit to just being present in that conversation, right? Listen to their feelings, listen to their maybe unstated messages outside of the words that they're speaking. So practice deep listening and understand the why, the feelings behind the words. Get to their point of view, understand their point of view, and get a sense of where they are coming from. Offer to do something special for them. Go and get their groceries or pick up something for them. Take their stuff to the cleaners. Of course, we make sure we practice the protocols. But just reach out and do something special for someone that you think is special. Or maybe just do something nice for a stranger. In the supermarket the other day, I saw a woman counting pennies as she was getting some stuff for herself. I had just checked out, and I just said to the cashier, I just nodded, and the cashier understood. And when she realized that her stuff was paid for, she said, Lord, thank you, God, thank you. Well, what your name is? I hesitated. And she said, it's all right, I know. I'm going to call you Angel. And that felt good. So as I've heard it say, pay it forward. See how you can just reach out to touch, to move, to inspire, to bless, to heal, to uplift someone else. And that is a full experience of Ubuntu. I will leave you with some excerpts from a meditation by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And he's writing, it comes from Living the Science of Mind. I am one with God. I am one with all people. I am one with all life. I am one with everything that lives. And knowing that I am one, I acknowledge that there is a silent power flowing through us all, blessing, healing, and prospering each and every one of us. I enter into the joy of living in love and harmony with all, in divine relationship and full cooperation. In every moment, something within me reaches out and embraces the whole world, blessing everything it touches and bringing life, happiness, and joy to everyone. Friends, May the spirit of Ubuntu be with you in every action and interaction that you have this week. Truly, the Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. Namaste. Okay. Wow. And today, we have a very, very special treat. We have Alicia Forbes, who is going to bless us with her beautiful voice. Alicia has been a part of a number of choral ensembles in Jamaica, University Singers, National Youth Chorale, and a number of others. So please put your hands together and help me to welcome Alicia.
Je t'aime, te amo, ya tribia dudu. Ani o heve toka, I love you. The sounds are all as different as the lands from which they came. And though our words are all unique, our hearts are still the same. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. And once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. We teach the young our differences, yet look how we're the same. We love to laugh, to dream our dreams, we feel the sting of pain. From Leningrad to Lexington, the farmer loves his land. And daddies all get misty-eyed to give their daughters hand. Oh, maybe when we realize how much there is to share, we'll find so much in common to pretend it isn't there. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. And once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Though the rhetoric of governments may keep us all apart, there's no misinterpreting the language of the heart. The heart. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. And once we learn to speak it,
you so much, Elisa. Let's hear it for her again. Oh. Wow. Love in any language. I know about Te amo and Je t'aime, but I don't know the other two. I think one is Russian. And what is the other one? Okay, Japanese, Russian, Spanish, and French. In any language. And English, it's I love you. In any language. It's fluently spoken here. It's very interesting that one of our core values is love. So we have a really, really wonderful opportunity to express our own love right here at the Temple of Light. And so it's now an opportunity for us to add our voice to the mix. And we're going to sing our own song. First of all, we have our Prayer of Jamaica, which is on the flyer inside your program and also on the screen. So let's do our Prayer of Jamaica. I invite you to stand. The Prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established, and so it is. And now we're going to do our own musical rendition. Our second hymn, Love Changes Everything.
Love changes everything, hands and faces, earth and sky. Love changes everything, how you live and how you die. Love can make the summer fly, or a night seem like a lifetime. Yes, love changes everything. Now I tremble at your name. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Love changes everything. Days are longer, words mean more. Love changes everything. Joy is deeper than before. Love will turn your world around, and that world will last forever. Yes, love changes everything, brings you glory, brings you fame. Nothing in the world will ever be the same.
Indeed, as our practitioner Steve Golding says, one cup of love. If we sprinkle a cup of love on everything, it can make a big world of difference. And so now I'm inviting those of you who have a love offering in your hands here in the sanctuary, and those of you who are online, we're going to just bless that infinite spirit of givingness that is now filling our cups. And so let us recognize together as we say our blessing. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. And so let us bless these gifts together, recognizing the infinite storehouse of God's givingness, recognizing that as we choose to dip into that infinite givingness of spirit, that our cups run over, always filled to capacity. I'm truly giving thanks for that spirit of abundance that is flowing through each and every one of us right here, right now. And the recognition that God is our absolute source and all is well. We truly bless these gifts and know that they continue to serve this ministry, to serve this work of sharing the principles of truth, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to uplift and liberate everyone who comes into contact with us. I truly give thanks for this wonderful teaching and release these words now, knowing that abundance is ours in every possible way. I give thanks that this is so, and so it is. And now let us do our peace song together. Yes, there is. We're going to do love this morning. Yes, there is love on earth together. Love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is love on earth, a love that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, love begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in love eternally. Yes, there is love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you so much for being here this morning, friends. We truly give thanks for this blessed moment. We give thanks for the life, the love, the joy, the peace that we are. We give thanks to for the spirit of Ubuntu that flows so magnificently through us. And I'm knowing that we truly arise and shine and let that love light that is ours just touch, move, and inspire everyone with whom we come into contact. And so I give thanks for this blessing. I give thanks to each and every one of you as I now release my word to the law and know that it is fully, perfectly, and wonderfully fulfilled, and so it is. Thank you, friends. As you leave, we have 2 baskets, one on either side of the podium. I invite you can just pass by and drop your love offering. And I thank you so much for this wonderful experience, and so it is.